Welcome to the second in our Business of the Outdoors series. My name's Rob Yates. I'm one of the co-founders of We Get Outdoors. And tonight with my other co-founder, Mark Hopkins, we're going to jump right into this session's contents. No BS, no waffle. So let's begin. We've built this series called The Business of the Outdoors to be in-depth, to cover the most critical topics that you need to understand if you want to open an outdoor business, and to do it over 6 consecutive sessions. That means that you might have some questions, and by all means put them into the comments section of either YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're joining us. There's a fair chance, though, that in one of the other sessions, and there's 4 remaining, that those questions will be answered then. So forgive me if we don't answer all the questions in this session and direct you to another session. Please forgive me. The next thing is that the reason we've spread this out across 6 sessions is this is not a get-rich-quick business type thing. This is genuinely how to work hard, do right, and produce an outdoor business for yourself that will be there for generations in the future to talk about. So no get-rich-quick nonsense here. If you're after a get-rich-quick business, you can go and find those all over the internet, and I guarantee a get-rich-quick attitude will bankrupt an outdoor business. So let's do this properly. In tonight's session, we're going to be talking about quitting your job and starting an outdoor business. And we're going to be talking around topics like, how do you know you're ready to change to an outdoor business? How do you go about changing careers? The top 3 things you need to consider when you're going to make the change. How do you go about picking the best and right option for you? And can an outdoor business really produce for you the lifestyle that it is that you'd want? So let's not waste any time. How do you know if this is for you? Well, it's definitely not for you if you're one of those people who want to get rich quick, do no work, have little commitment, and hate the outdoors type of person. As I said, there's plenty of those options for you elsewhere in the world. This definitely isn't for you. However, if you love the outdoors, you want other people to love the outdoors, you're committed to owning an outdoor adventure sports business at some point in time in the future, you're committing to your own financial future and successful future for your family and yourself, and you're willing to work smart hard to make it even more awesome than it currently is, then this is definitely for you. Now, if I was you and I was watching this, I'd be thinking, who's this Mark guy and who's this Rob guy? Why should I listen to them? Why should I take any advice from them? And those are great questions. So before I hand over to Mark, a little bit about me. I started working in the outdoors age 16 as an instructor at a local outdoor education center. And 30 years later, or pretty close to 30 years later, I've lost all my hair, and I'm still working at the cutting edge of the outdoor industry. I've now moved from being the instructor of kayakers or mountaineers or rock climbers. I've now moved to be the trainer of some over 3,500 guides, instructors, and coaches in the outdoors, and also to be somebody who supports outdoor business startups and current outdoor businesses to go and grow themselves into something that their children's children will be talking about in the future. All linked to that, I still love the outdoors. I get in the outdoors loads, and personally, I've spent over 1,500 nights guiding in the outdoors on every continent apart from Antarctica. So that's me, I guess. Mark, welcome to the webinar this evening.
Thank you very much. The first thing to say is I'm interested to know, well, this is for another topic of conversation, but 1,500 nights, that's a lot of nights, that's a lot of notches on your bedpost. But my journey is an amateur enthusiast. I am absolutely passionate about the outdoors. And as I sit here now, I've got beautiful views over the ocean, over trees, over a park, and just watching people, as we talk now, there's a family walking past with their dog. And that's what the outdoors is to me. It's the opportunity to get out as a family or as an individual and experience something truly mesmeric. And again, it can be from what I this afternoon, which was going for a run on a promenade next to the ocean, or 5-day hikes, 10-day hikes, or going to explore some of the far-flung countries of the world, which I've done. The thing that's fascinating about what we're talking about tonight is something that I think every single person during their lifetime does, which is either change a job or change a career. And I can speak from absolute confidence in this, having done this, probably some of the biggest career changes you could do. I was a professional sports coach. I coached hockey, field hockey in Europe, and in 2008, I found myself being a very boring human being. Talking about hockey, working in hockey, sleeping in hockey, and I did something crazy. I did a massive career change from being one of the youngest coaches ever to win medals at a European level to quitting all that and going into the corporate world in insurance. So imagine that, elite sport, field hockey, into corporate insurance for a global insurance company. It's about as big a change in career as you can possibly get. And I'm sure in the rest of this webinar, we will share some of those stories and how it happened. But that's me, passionate about the outdoors, excited about the impact that We Get Outdoors is having and will continue to have, not only for the generation today, but for Rob and my kids' generation as they leverage on all the beauty and the opportunity in the outdoors. So, Rob, I just mentioned there one of a very, very big career change, which was from elite sport into a global corporate insurance group. And again, throughout your career, you've worked very much in the outdoors, but you have made some, worked in different industries and made some changes. What do you think are the most important things to consider when changing careers?
So number one, don't do it like I did. That's my number one advice. Whatever you do, don't do it like I did. My big change, I suppose, or two biggest changes, one of which was going from being employed by the government of the UK to run adventure sports centres, be a director of adventure sports centres, be more specific. And I left that out of complete and utter frustration. And if you were to ask me, what do I wish I'd done differently? I wish I'd left that job before I was frustrated, and I'd actually taken action 12 to 18 months before I went and set up my first own personal business, which was an adventure sports business. I wish I'd done that. I think I'd have had better relationships, professional relationships left in place. And I think I'd have had far more clarity and far more planning going into doing it than how I actually did do it. So that's my my piece of advice. And I suppose what I was really missing is I'd always had the idea that I wanted to go and open an adventure sports business, an outdoor pursuits business. I'd always wanted to do it, but I'd never had the motivators to do it all in line at the same time. And I suppose I'd never really put it down as it was a dream, not a goal. I think that would be the difference. It's like a one day as opposed to, October 2020 or September 2020, I'm going to start my own outdoor business. And what actually happened in the end was I broke my leg in the outdoors. That gave me a bunch of time off work. I got very, very frustrated with working for the government, which just seems to do the easiest stuff backwards. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. And I had a very good, very close friend of mine, a lady called Gwyneth. She came to come and just join us on an expedition just to watch, and not do much taking part. It was sort of a trip where we did day-long kayaking on whitewater rivers, and then at the end of the day we went to one central campsite. And Gwyneth told me that she had cancer on that trip, and we spoke a lot about her regrets in life, and one of her regrets was not starting her own outdoor business, and plead me to start my own outdoor business. And I guess that was part of the motivator. Gwyneth Brown was there And Gwyneth passed away. Gwyneth got to see the first 6 months of my business Elements in action. And then she died of cancer. And, you know, I really wish that I'd had this as a goal. I'd made a quicker decision, and I committed to it sooner, because Gwyneth, amongst other things, would have been a close friend who would have come and joined me on more of that journey. She still would have died of cancer. Like, I don't think you can take that out of the equation. But nevertheless, she would have been there to see it and probably to support me more as well.
Yeah, some interesting, really interesting sort of advice and mistakes that people can learn from, because I think my career changes was you're never ready. You're never in that place where every single thing is perfectly aligned. We're very good at making excuses. We're very good at going, it's not quite right yet, or in a month's time I'll have another $100 in the bank account. So I think that's one thing to consider is there's no such thing as a perfect time to make a career change. One thing that I found really beneficial when I did make a career change is having a really good support network in place that allowed me and gave me that guidance when I need it and gave me that honesty. So I think a critical thing as we talk about the transition in career is really thinking about building up that network, that support network. Start having those conversations with people that will enable you to see maybe some of your blind spots or ask you some questions that you're not brave enough to ask yourself. I think the one thing that we've talked a little bit about previously is passion. You've got to be making that. There's two things. One is making that career change when you're at the top. You know, I left hockey having just won a medal at the European. You know, and I was in a really good space in hockey, but also wanting a different challenge. So sort of leaving at the right time. But that was a really cool one. And just thinking about, like I said, timing. Timing is a really, really important thing. There's no such thing as a perfect time, but I love your advice about putting a date in the diary and actually committing to it and being okay to make that move without everything being perfect. So when did you know that you were ready for that change? I know you talked about frustration, but what advice again would you give people to know that they are ready to make a change?
So I think that you're ready to make a change when you've got a burning desire inside of yourself to either do different. So to start a new career or your own business for the first time. And it's a burning desire inside of you that is something that I won't say keeps you awake at night in a bad way, but it's that sort of thing. If you end up with 30 minutes to spare, you're sort of on YouTube or you're on Google and you're trying to find some answers for yourself. Like, is it possible? How do I do it? Who do I do it with? What do I sell? How much do I charge? Maybe you've identified other people around you who are running outdoor businesses that frankly you don't think are very good. You think you could do a better job. Those would be some really, really key motivators. Or maybe you're like Mance, who I did a solutions call with last week. Mance has already got a successful outdoor business, and he wants his outdoor business to be more successful and be able to serve more people and serve himself better as well, in the sort of increase his own impact and income, I guess. And so one of those two camps, I think people will be sat in, Mark. Equally, you might just be really, really, really fed up and frustrated with the precarious nature of having a job at this point in time. You know, my wife has a job, right? And she's a psychologist. She's got all sorts of fancy qualifications. And there's, you know, Mark, you and I, we run our own businesses. And we work together running our own businesses. And some people think that my wife's well-paid job is very, very secure. And then I asked them, well, how does she lose that job, lose that income? And the answer is they decide they can't afford her anymore and give us 30 days notice. Like, Mark, if you want to stop working for We Get Outdoors or for one of our other businesses, who sacks you? or makes you redundant or retrenches
Yeah, I
you?
sack myself.
Yeah, the answer is nobody. You're actually unsackable. Like you can't actually sack yourself from your own business. And so the beauty of having that is about creating freedom for yourself. Yes, running your own business is not always perfectly easy. Times can be hard, just like now in coronavirus and COVID-19. However, in saying all of that, what do you do when you have your own business? You know, if my wife got made redundant at this point in time, or furloughed or retrenched at this point in time, if that happened to her, she'd be stuffed. She'd have to go and find another job competing against lots and lots and lots of other people. Her and I were having lunch together today and we were talking, and I was like, well, you know, if suddenly one income stream from We Get Outdoors or our other business was to cease, I reckon I've got enough experience, I've got a coach, I've got enough contacts that I'd phone around and I'd probably replace $5,000 a month worth of work in the next week just by looking a bit further than what most people do. And I suppose that's the other thing about maybe you want to set up a business for yourself, and maybe now's the right time, because you do want to build some financial security and certainty in your world where you control your destiny, not somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, that control, because I think that's the thing that everyone's learning about at the moment, is how little the perception of control is so skewed. We literally have, and again, if it just obviously what's happening currently around the world, in South Africa, there's an alcohol ban where within 5 minutes, a whole industry's income has been turned off. Literally, a president making an announcement, in 5 minutes, bang, there goes your whole income and industry. So again, it's about looking at what's in control. So I think, yeah, you're ready for a change when, just to reiterate some of your points, when you find yourself being sidetracked and thinking about what else you should be doing when you're doing the job that's paying you the money. That's a really big one for me. Like when you look at your social media feeds and you realize that your social media feeds have nothing to do with your job and have everything to do with your passions, and you actually start thinking, how do I turn my passion into profit? That's when you start knowing you're ready for a change. And then the trick, obviously, is to start thinking about the how. How am I going to transition to move from what I'm currently doing to what I want to be doing in the future? Because there are a few people who are fortunate enough to wake up one morning, quit, and go into something very, very successful. There are a few people who can do that. Some other people have to make a plan. They have to plan for 3 or 4 months and start saving a little bit more money just to build up that buffer. And like you said, have a date in the diary that says in 6 months, I want to have saved $6,000 in 6 months. And then once I get to 6 months, I will have saved $6,000, and that's the day that I can resign. So what are the top 3 things that you would advise people to prepare for as they move careers into an outdoor business?
Oh, that's easy. The very first thing I would advise is find somebody who's genuinely done it before and done it successfully before to the scale that you want to do it yourself for, to help you not make the same mistakes that they've done. Like they've already paid their school fees, they've already learned from them, they've already made the cock-ups and they've resolved them. And find that person who can help you and support you and commit to finding a way to partnering with them as soon as humanly possible. Don't wait to go and say, right, now's the day I open my business. Like I've got the registration documents and the bank account, and then look for their support. Get their support for months and months and months and months before that day, as early as humanly possible, because as we know, Mark, planning is the thing and preparation is the thing that leads to success 9 times out of 10. And that time before you open the door of your business and start trading, that is the time where you've decided whether you're going to make it work or not. So get somebody well in advance. Big top tips. That's number 1. Find a mentor. Number 2 is and I was just reading a book about this this morning, is to find a way of having something that's going to help you get on top of your finances. Now, everybody's finances are slightly different, but one of the things I've become very, very aware of is just how many lies we are told by big business and by the banks around our money and around our finances. Oh, put this on credit, have finance for that, borrow for this, etc., etc., etc. And when you run your own business, you want to get yourself to the point where your monthly outgoings are as small as humanly possible, because every business has some peaks and some troughs. And you don't want to hit your trough of business and find that the amount of money the business has given you doesn't match the amount of money you need, because you've got all of these things on finance, on credit, on whatever else. So tidying that up, and that can happen, Mark, in very many different ways. I've actually got a program I'm building for a set of clients at this point in time that is amazing, because there is no single way of skinning that cat. You know, for some people, they need to go and have a chat with the bank and say, okay, I know I originally borrowed to get this paid off over 4 years. Can I extend that by 2 years now to bring that monthly amount down? You know, can I save some money? Can I delete some debt? If so, what debt? So on and so forth, to get yourself that when you set up that business, the worry of money is not the number one worry, because the number one worry you need to have is securing as many customers as possible to go and put cash in your bank account. And if you're worrying about your money side of things, there's a problem. Now, I have to say the world's not perfect. So it's about saying, right, in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to make the best I possibly can do of my current situation. And then I'm going to go ahead and press go regardless. For me personally, when I set up my business, the thing I did was I spent all of my time and I cleared my credit card debt. That did two things. Firstly, my number of my monthly outgoings reduced. And secondly, I had that credit card balance to fall back on if I needed it with the business. So those are the first two things. The third thing is to not copy what the rest of the industry is doing. Mark, we spoke about this the other day. In fact, maybe even to today, I can't remember. It's all a bit of a blur. But we spoke about how 99.9% of the industry has got a sales funnel, and 99.9% of the industry has got 3 to 4 layers of their sales funnel missing, i.e. there should be 3 to 4 more things happening above where they're currently trying to sell their products and services, and it's missing. So by all means, go and copy somebody and go and have them as a mentor. But if they're selling introduction to kayaking courses or how to become a coach courses or whatever else, and that's their point of entrance into their business, do not copy them, because they have a fundamentally broken business model. And so I think that's like another filter to run by in terms of setting your business up.
Yeah, I think some really, really cool things. I think the one that I would add into there would be around having a system that is going to enable you to get your clients as quickly as possible. And that system should do one thing. That system should solve a specific problem for a specific group of people that you can get in front of really easily at a price point that is going to make them buy really quickly. So yes. A specific problem for a specific product for a specific problem that is at a target market that's going to afford a price point that's going to solve their problem as quick as possible. That for me would be a really important thing.
And that, Mark, is what you've just said there, is what differs from what the rest of the outdoor and adventure sports industry does, is the rest of the industry tries to take money from people for a product or service, which is a good quality product or service. I have no problem with that. But they're always looking to, if you imagine people have got 2 pots of cash, they've got a pleasure pot and a pain pot. people always spend on things that hurt them first, and then they spend on sexy stuff second, right? And what the rest of the industry is trying to do, 99.9% of businesses, is take money out of people's pleasure pot. And when times get tough and times get hard, the pleasure pot is the one that gets emptied first, because people will still pay to have a painful problem removed all the way up until the point where they're bankrupt. They'll still keep paying to have a way of staying at work longer to earn more money. They'll pay to be healthier and fitter. They'll pay for all sorts of things even when they're painful. But if they're not painful, they just won't part with their cash. And I think, Mark, that's really important what you hit in that last point there.
Yeah, I think let's be blunt and honest. What you and I are wanting to do with We Get Outdoors is to give people the opportunity to build a successful and sustainable business that solves a problem for somebody that they're going to continue to pay you money to do. What we don't advocate in We Get Outdoors is just focusing on the easy bit. So you open this up by saying this is not a quick win scheme. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And again, if you think about and I did this previously in my old role as a hockey coach. Now, what's the easiest way as a hockey coach to earn money? Well, it's to offer one-to-one training for players. So that's the easiest way to earn money. But guess what? I can only earn as much money as the time I'm spending in front of people, which isn't a very sustainable, successful business model, because I'm purely limited by how much I can charge per hour and what people are willing to pay for my time. And I think that's what's really critical as you think about quitting your job and starting an outdoor business, is prepare a system that is not going to hamstring you in 12 months' time when you've built up a model, you've built a business that is capped and will fail. Because the moment you go, oh, you're sick or you're broken a leg, and you cannot do that one-to-one coaching, guess what? You can't earn money, but your expenses just keep ramping up. So I think that's such a critical thing to think about as you prepare to move career, is how do you ensure that you're actually building a system or following a model that's going to allow you to scale and also not back yourself into a corner that means you're the sole breadwinner in that business.
And let's be honest about it, Mark. What is it that people want from a business? Is they want to serve as many people as possible, help them in whatever way it might be, but also have a great quality of life for themselves. And I often think about, like, what do I wish I knew when I set my first business up? What's already existing out there? And the CrossFit model jumps to my mind very, very, very quickly. So you get a CrossFit affiliate who pays about $5,000 a year to be a CrossFit affiliate and use their brand name. And then you pay a few $1,000s more every time you want to go and progress through their different coaching qualifications. Cool. So it's got a bit of money up front, right? And I suppose you need to go and set your gym up, but CrossFit gyms tend to happen in small warehouse units that are quite affordable to set up. But then let's go and look at the numbers behind it. My CrossFit gym here has 400 members who are all paying $150 a month membership to attend a CrossFit gym. So you just go do the maths. That's about $60,000 a month of income coming into that business, 12 months of the year. And that basic membership that I've got is just that. It's a basic membership, but it gives the owner of that gym consistent $60,000 a month income to budget with, pay staff, pay bills for. And so when he wants, and it is a he in this case, when he wants to go and run a CrossFit competition, if it makes money or doesn't make money, he doesn't care, because he's got $720,000 a year worth of revenue coming into his business, helping people be healthier, more active, lead happier lives, be better dads, better bosses, better so on and so forth. And so if you want a successful outdoor business, maybe there's something from that there that you should go and think about putting into your business model.
Yeah, I think that example there is a really good way to think about how do you pick the right option. And you've talked a few things around copy someone whose model is proven. And again, I think we've got to clarify the word proven. Proven is not after year one. That's not proven. Proven is after being around 3-5 years and growing year on year and having a brand behind it. That's proven. Having a regular revenue stream that at least doubles your expenses. Having that, so you can smooth out your peaks and troughs. What other things would you say is critical for outdoor business, potential outdoor businesses to think about, or owners, as they look at the options in front of them?
So the first thing is that if this is new to you, I would consider doing something that is not going to involve you having to remortgage your house to do it. Like that's number one. Yeah, of course, setting a business up is going to cost some money. But if it's new to you, my advice is set up a business that can have a lower amount of initial investment, and every business requires an initial investment, whether you like it or not. Even if you're a window cleaner, hey, you've still got to go and buy your ladder and pay for fuel and have a vehicle and have squeegees and do some marketing. So every business involves that stuff. So you're going to have some initial expenditure, but find something that is not going to go and stitch you up or load you with debt. My best advice is to find a way of doing it where you can invest a maximum of, let's say, $10,000 to $12,000. Let's say $12,000 as a figure, where you can get up, you can get running, and then you go and take the profit you make from the first load of business that you do, and you plow it back into the growth of your business. And that's your strategy. So you're never borrowing to grow. You're always making profit, paying yourself, and taking the balance of the profit and putting it back into the business again. So that you're not going and stretching yourself. You know, Mark, there's no need to go and do what I did when I first set my business up. 3 trailers, 15 mountain bikes, 15 canoes, 26 kayaks, all the paddles, life jackets, outdoor clothing, vans to tow them with. Do you know what I mean? So on and so forth. I dropped, I think we're getting well over £40,000 into setting that business up. And I didn't need to. I could have done it for a quarter of that with the right model and the right approach. And so I think that's really, really, really important. You don't need to spend much money to get this business up and running. And I think we've covered some of, I suppose the other part is what I normally see with people setting up outdoor businesses is that they say, right, cool, I'm going to set up an outdoor business, and they move to the most beautiful rural place on planet Earth, in their opinion. In the UK, it's often to somewhere in Wales or Scotland or the Lake District or Cornwall. And in America, you move to the Pacific Northwest, or you move somewhere up on the Canadian border, or you move somewhere into rural Tennessee or somewhere. And at that point in time, you're just setting your business up to fail, because you want to have your business based nearest the largest amount of human beings possible, so that they don't have to travel far to come see you. You can always go book flights, jump in vans, drive, and go to cool locations as often as you like with those people. But you need to live and be working ideally somewhere near to where that large volume of people is. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible to live in the middle of rural nowhere and run a successful outdoor business, because it is. It's just not the easiest way of doing it. And I think that people's chance of success is much, much higher if they live near urban areas, I suppose. And it's kind of a counterintuitive thing. But when I set my business up, I stayed living in central England, just outside Oxford. And it was far more expensive to stay living there than it was to go and move somewhere rural and beautiful. But at that point in time, that's where my family was, that's where my friends were, etc., etc. So I stayed there. And arguably, in my list of things that I got right and things that I got wrong, living there in urban central England, 60 miles north of Oxford, 60 miles north of London, arguably it was the most sensible thing that I did, but by a long way. And so I think avoiding that temptation, and I guess that goes back to that, is this decision out of frustration or out of rational thought? Frustrated people pack up everything, move to the middle of nowhere, and try and set up their outdoor business. Goal-orientated people who say now's the time, they'll understand they need to live near a large volume of people that they can engage with on a regular basis, and will say, cool, when my business is established and I've got all of these people in this urban area paying me money, like the CrossFit model, you know, $150 a month, 400 members of your CrossFit gym. When you get to there, then I'm going to go and have an outpost for my business. I'm going to employ a manager to run it in the urban area for me. And I am going to go and live in the rural, less urban, more beautiful place. But I'm going to do that knowing that the business is running and it's providing customers who are coming to that beautiful place to do whatever it is with me. And so I get the best of both worlds because I've been patient. And I really, really think those probably are my two biggest things that people should have a heads up on before deciding to go and step forwards and make, well, let's be honest, what is a brave discussion, a brave thing. I've got one more thing. Am I open to a third thing?
Of course.
So I've got a difference maker. So we need the right business model in the right way. I think that's really, really, really important. You need the right place, so on and so forth. However, you and your workforce are the people who make your outdoor business work. And one of the things that I've noticed through successful outdoor businesses and unsuccessful outdoor businesses is successful outdoor businesses have a very, very, very unique instructional and coaching style. Very unique, not found in very many places elsewhere. And you know when you've got that right. You know, I interviewed James Mankey the other week, who's a Canadian kayak coach. And when people go to events where James is working at, they don't look at the class title. They book because James is the coach, right? They don't care. Like, he could be coaching how to fry an egg on a jet boil whilst bobbing around on the ocean. They'll be like, whoa, James is delivering it. I'm going with James. Then you know that you've got that coaching in an instructional style right, because people are choosing your business and how you do it first as opposed to the product first. And when you've got that bit dialed, you've hit the sweet spot. Right model, right business model, right location, and right instructional stroke coaching style. Those are the three golden bits. After that, I won't say you're printing money because there's lots of hard work to be done, but you are on that right path to being the 1 in 5 who make it as opposed to the 4 in 5 who do not.
I think you've given 3 really insightful things, and I think one thing just to challenge everyone watching this is listen to what Rob's definition of the outdoors actually is. And I think that's we have this definition in our head of what outdoors is, and sometimes to run a successful outdoor business, you might need to rethink about what that definition is. But let's say that an individual has listened and is going to make that leap. Just talk me through a little bit about the kind of lifestyle you led as an outdoor business owner when you ran Elements. What kind of things did it look like?
So my lifestyle changed. I think that would be fair to say, because I set up Elements originally following what everybody else does, which meant that, as you said, with hockey coaching, Mark, I was selling my time all too often by the hour or by the day for not enough money, to be honest with you. That the lifestyle changed, and I did carry on doing that as well. So there's no stopping the fact that you're still going to trade your time for some money. That's going to be there. But lifestyle. So lifestyle things to talk about. I traveled the world for free. And I got to go to some amazing, cool locations. I got to employ and work with some of the most incredible people ever. My daughter, when she was just a few months old, this transitioned into my family. So I remember one September, we spent 6 weeks on vacation in the Pacific Northwest, just me, my wife, and my daughter. And my daughter's 6 months old, and there we are going on a 7-day canoe expedition up in the Cascades. We got to do those things as a family. And for me, it gave me, and I suppose the last point is that no day ever really felt like work. Yes, it was work. Yes, it was hard. Yes, it required time. It required commitment. But I got up to go to work every day, either thinking, today I'm going to go and help some more people love and enjoy the outdoors. Yep. So I'm going to go and do some sales. I'm going to go and meet some school head teachers or whoever it might be. I'm going to help some more people love the outdoors. Perfect. Or today I'm going to train my staff to a higher level. Or today I'm going to go and work with some clients myself. Today I'm going to have the day off because I can, and I'm going to go kayaking or canoeing for myself. I got this amazing quality of life where the idea of 5 days of work and 2 days off sort of evaporated, because every day felt like Saturday and Sunday did before. Nobody was telling me what to do. Now that comes as a challenge, because you do need to be told what to do on occasions. But I guess what I'm saying is I didn't have a boss putting unrealistic expectations on my shoulders. I didn't have a boss who had lost touch with what it was really like to go and work in the outdoors, who came up with lots of theoretical crap, but frankly forgot the fact that you were spending 6 hours a day in the rain. And actually, that's quite draining. But equally, it's quite beautiful as well. I got to see sunrises and sunsets on every continent apart from Antarctica. But equally, I got to see them within 2 miles of my own home while taking a group of people for a walk to go and do some exercise in the local countryside and do some bushcraft stuff. Do you know what I mean? I got to have conversations with people like the chief marketing officer of Microsoft Global because I was working in the outdoors. Like a vice president of Amazon.com. I got to have conversations, and he was a client in the business. How amazing is that? This diverse, immense opportunity that we buy ourselves, where we get to be in the outdoors, we get to be competent, we don't get distracted by nonsense, we have control of our own life. And every day feels like a vacation day, but truly 6, 12, 18 weeks a year of real vacation is truly possible, and without losing money because of it. And so for me, I think those are for me the upside of it. Can I tell you the funniest thing?
Go for it.
All my clients used to joke that the only thing I paid to wear was my boxer shorts. And even those I got for free on occasions, because I had pro deals on all sorts of sexy equipment, and then the business would pay for all that sexy equipment for me to have and use and wear. And even then, I even found a manufacturer who made non-itchy merino wool boxer shorts. And I'm like, high five me. Everything I'm wearing top to toe was paid for by the business. So that's like, toys. Hey, you can have as many toys as you like.
You're selling the dream.
So, like Mark, I'm probably aware there's lots of people here, though, nodding as we're speaking. And I'm sure that a lot of them have made a lot of sense out of what we're talking about. And probably most people are thinking, like, this all sounds good in theory, but like, how do I take this theory of having a job or another business and turning it into reality? What's a good business? What's the system? And so I want to give you, Mark, the opportunity to take people through now our 9-step outdoor roadmap that takes somebody from being an employee to becoming an employer, to going from paycheck to paycheck, hoping that there's always enough money, to having cash in the bank reserves and inspiring people in the outdoors, to thriving in the outdoors, to protecting the outdoors, and importantly, to running a profitable, successful business that gives to the community, but equally increases the size of the outdoor community as well. So there's more people who love the outdoors, and therefore more people who will truly look after it. What can you share with people? I mean, do you want me to share my screen? What do you think's the way forwards?
Yeah, let's share the outdoor business roadmap, and let me just briefly talk through that. So what you've heard over the last 45 minutes is Rob's take, my take on actually building a successful, sustainable and high-performing outdoor business that is fundamentally different from anyone else in the industry. And what we've done is we've taken Rob and my background in, well, Rob's experience in the outdoors and my experience in elite sport and business, and said, how do we build a system that is proven and allows somebody to come into the industry with whatever level of experience or knowledge they may have, and generate a business that's going to probably give you between $60,000 to $90,000 profit at the end of year one. And this is what it is. Now, before I take you briefly through the outdoor business roadmap, it's key to listen and understand that at We Get Outdoors, we don't expect everybody just to be able to transition immediately from what they're currently doing into an outdoor business owner. So we have a transition program that will walk you and guide you step by step on how to move from being an employee into an outdoor business owner. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to just share with you is we are so passionate about helping people achieve their dreams in the outdoors and inspiring the outdoors that the first 10 people who join us in implementing this system will get free one-to-one coaching from Rob and I for the first year. So the first 10 people who join us and become and We Get Outdoors business owner will get free one-to-one coaching for the first 12 months. Now, what we find in our clients that we work with at the moment, so these are successful outdoor businesses or working with us to make them successful, or those starting out, they start with certain traits, which is apprehensive. They're really apprehensive. They know what they want to do, but they're not quite sure how to take that leap of faith or what the steps they need to do. We've talked a lot about them in this webinar. The second thing they all feel is extremely overwhelmed by what's out there, which model do they follow, which businesses are successful. There's so much information on the outdoors that they're overwhelmed, which breeds a lot of nervousness. Am I making the right decision? What's the first 3 things that I should be doing? Who's a mentor out there that I can really go and learn from? And that's all underpinned by this massive amount of excitement. They want to wake up in the morning and they want to have the lifestyle that Rob has just shared with you. Traveling well around the world for free, having non-itchy merino underpants paid for by somebody else. They want that lifestyle. And what this outdoor business roadmap does, it takes all the experience that Rob and I have had, both in the outdoors and in business, and gives you the exact steps that you need to take in order to be successful, in order to be a profitable and successful outdoor business owner. So if you follow these 9 steps, you will go and you will achieve that profit at the end of year one. So what do you do? On the first level, it's all about making your first money. Like Rob shared, think about having an investment. Rob gave a number of $12,000. Now, within level 1, you're going to get that money back straight away because you're going to make your first dollars. Now, we have a proven system that solves a pain problem for somebody who's going to be able to afford your services. We have that system. We've tested the system. It works. So you get your business ready to trade, you secure the first clients, and we tell you exactly who are the targets, your target market, who are the clients, how do you open those doors? We give you the scripts of what to do. We give you the exact training program that you need to follow in order to bring and secure your first clients. And then you create a tribe of followers. You do such a good job that you become the James, where people don't even look at what you're doing. They just want to be part of your community and your tribe. by doing those three things and following the outdoor business roadmap that we've built, you will achieve and make your first dollars. You will have paid for all your upfront costs, and you will now be making money that you can reinvest into your business, which allows you to scale to profit. It allows you to fill up your schedule. It allows you to manage that oversubscription where you've got too many customers and you don't know how to handle it. We've got a system for you that allows you to manage that oversubscription. It allows you to take on board more and more clients into you that are paying you more and more money to achieve the results that they want to do. Now we then take you and say, well, you've got so good in that one area, let's open up another market for you. Now we've got another market that is proven, which is going to expand your offering. It's going to open up a whole different group of clients. So now you can diversify away and earn multiple revenue streams off your infrastructure that you've built. So now you're scaling to profit. And then it takes you to the final level. The final level is you want a recurring machine. You know what? Something that you can run this business with your eyes closed. You want the outdoor master playbook. Now this playbook is everything that's going to allow you to move from year 1 into year 3 and year 5. You know, that company that's now growing into hundreds of thousands of dollars profit per year. How do you do that? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to manage your time effectively so you're earning as much income in the shortest amount of time as possible. Expanding your business to different locations. And we've got a strategy for you to follow as to when you do it so you don't put your business into jeopardy. How do you open up more locations? How do you open up more revenue streams that's going to allow you to generate greater profit off your initial infrastructure? And then really ramping your business. Every good business looks at earning as many dollars as it can off one part of its business. And that's what step 9 is, turning your brand into your income. So we have a proven 9-step system that allows you to move through the journey to become a profitable and successful outdoor business owner. By joining the We Get Outdoors family, and the first 10 people join us will get free one-to-one coaching for the first year. The value of that is insane. You get all the tools behind each step that you need to follow. So you do what Rob advised you to do, which is find a mentor who's made all those mistakes. That means you don't have to pay the school fees again. Find somebody who's been there, done it, who's going to support you and guide you in order to make sure you're successful. So that is the outdoor business roadmap. It is a proven 9-step model that's going to take you from apprehensive to a profitable, successful outdoor business owner. So you're probably looking at this and going, geez, this sounds all well and good, but I've got a load more questions that I need answering. So you spend the last hour with us. You probably joined us either via watching our YouTube videos, or you've engaged us on our Facebook page and our group. So by now, we are betting that you know our values. You also know what We Get Outdoors stands for. You know how we communicate, how we share our knowledge, what our passion and experience is, and what our values and what we want to offer to you. But here is what we know. If you want to have another level of life, you're going to need help. There is no way that you're going to get to the level in the time frame that you want to achieve it on your own. It is just not possible, because you are going to make the thousands of mistakes that we made when we built our businesses. It is going to take you a lot longer if you do it on your own. Fact. Now, we want to be that help. We want to be that support network that's going to enable you to reach your goals in the fastest possible time possible. We want to ensure that you don't make the same mistakes we made, and that you build the business that's going to thrive and leave a legacy for your kids to talk about going forward. And this is what we're so excited. We're so excited because we're offering you a chance to jump on a call with either Rob or myself to answer any of the questions that you may have around making money in the outdoors, quitting your job and starting an outdoor business. And also to unpack the outdoor business roadmap in a lot more detail to really give you all the insights about what it's needed in order to build the outdoor business of your dream. So how do you get onto this call? Well, it's really simple. You simply click on the link below. So click on the link in the description, in the comment section, and then you just find a day and a time that suits you. So when you click the link, you're going to be taken to a calendar. In the calendar, we've given our availability over the next few days where you can just come onto a call with either Rob or myself and allow us to answer any questions. You see, we want to help you reach another level in life. We want to pass on our experience, knowledge, and we want to share with you the proven system that's going to help you achieve it. So simply click on the link in the comment section, take an available slot, and then come and have a chat with us. And we cannot wait to speak to you and help you achieve your outdoor dreams as soon as possible.
Cool. Yeah. So Mark, so I just checked. There is some times available still over the next 5 or 6 days for guys and girls to go and book some time. But I don't think there's anything beyond 6 days time. So people better go and, if they want it, better go and book quickly. And we can't wait to talk with you. This is a no, what's the word, Mark? A no sales pitch talk, the discussion we're going to have with you. This is all about how can we help you? Can we help you? And are we right to help you? Yes or no? And if we're not, we are we hold integrity very highly in our lives. And so if we're not, we'll tell you we're not. And we tell you we can't help, and that's fine. But I don't find very many of those conversations, but I am more than happy to go and say, sorry, I just don't know. So that's it from us. Thank you very much. Any questions or queries people have got, please go and put them into the comments section. We do actively monitor Facebook and YouTube on a daily basis. So we will get back to you if you've got any questions, but why put the questions into YouTube or Facebook when you can click on the link and come and ask them to me or Mark personally and have a personal discussion. So that's it for me. We're passionate about bringing back the adventure and look forward to seeing you in the outdoors with us very soon.